Hola, peeps. Hope you're well. It is the last day of April 2024, and I'm here to do a review, discussion, talking to about the new Pet Shop Boys album. Nonetheless, I'm going to get right into it today. Zero preamble. This is the new album. It's always a big event for me personally when it comes to the Pet Shop Boys releasing an album because they usually, it takes them 3, 4, 5 years usually to release an album. And the last one was 4 years ago, Hotspot, which I thought was an excellent record. And that's the magic of this duo here. They've been around for over 40 years and they're still pumping out interesting music. And I think that should always be celebrated. And the new album's good. I'm happy to talk about this. So let's get into it. This is the Amazon exclusive edition. Basically, it's on, I think Milky Clear was their official title for the color of the record. And I'll show that here in a minute. Yeah, Milky Clear. It basically looks like semen. If you like your albums looking like they were drenched in semen, if a dude walked by and dropped a big load onto your vinyl, that's basically what it looks like. And I'll get into that. I personally would rather not have that. But hey, some of you out there might prefer that. You'll see the exclusive Amazon sticker. It's a little blurry there. It says the new album exclusive clear vinyl featuring the single Loneliness. Yeah, it says a clear vinyl here, but on Amazon when I ordered it, it said Milky Clear. So whatever, I don't know. This is the physical release. I assume there's 40 different colors of this vinyl. I don't know what they are. I just saw it on Amazon and I ordered what they had. I assume it's on black. What are the other colors? I'm assuming maybe somebody might watch this and they might have a different color. I'll look that up when I'm done with the video, but mine's Milky Clear. There's the track listing: Loneliness, Feel, Why Am I Dancing, New London Boy, Dancing Star, A New Bohemia, The Schlager Hit Parade, The Secret of Happiness. Let's see if I can read backwards. Bullet for Narcissus, is that? Narcissus, and Love is the Law. I listened to this album 4 or 5 times, and I really enjoy it, man. It's if I were to, I hate comparing and contrasting. I'll only do that within the ecosystem of the Pet Shop Boys, but this is not my favorite record of theirs released in the last decade or so. This is one of those albums where they kind of took a back seat. The energy took a bit of a back seat overall. Like the last album, Hotspot, I thought was high energy. Electric was high energy. Super was high energy. They've been like on this high energy roll, and I think it suits them very well. But every blue moon, they'll do one of those albums where they'll have the super high energy tracks, but then they'll sprinkle in some more down tempo, even new agey, very relaxed, mellow songs. And this is one of those albums. And that's never, for me personally, that's never the perfect formula for a Pet Shop Boys record. I really like this album. It's my least favorite probably since Elysium. And if I were to compare it to any other Pet Shop Boys album, and I've only heard this 4 or 5 times, so I should listen to it more, but right now I'm thinking it's kind of like Elysium. It's a little bit soft. It's not as much on the high energy stuff. It's more high energy than Elysium, I will say that. Elysium was pretty mellow overall. It had some high energy tracks, but this one it's got an overall slightly mellower feel than Super and Hotspot and Electric. And Electric was super high energy. They did Electric right after Elysium. It's funny how Pet Shop Boys have always done that. They'll kind of put out an album that's more introspective and mellow, and then they'll respond to that by putting out a super high energy album after that. Like when they put out Behavior, which is one of their most mellow albums and my personal favorite Pet Shop Boys album. But then after that, they released Very, which is arguably their most high energy album ever, which would be my second favorite Pet Shop Boys album. My two favorites, Very and Behavior, tend to vary. Vary, not Very. My opinions on Very vary. How do you like that sentence? It just depends on the mood I'm in. If I'm in more of a melancholy, down-tempo mood, Behavior's usually my favorite. If I'm in a high energy, happy mood, it's Very that's my favorite. So it depends. But this album is a little more in the Behavior vein. Not all the way through, but it is a little bit mellow. Let me show the physical media here. Here is the inner sleeve. You get the lyrics, as most Pet Shop Boys. In fact, all Pet Shop Boys records have this, to my knowledge. I don't think they've ever released an album without lyrics. Here's the other side. You get some credits. And I'll show you that milky clear vinyl. See? See that? Like like someone just walked by your vinyl and got really excited and left something behind. There it is. Your milky clear. So I don't know how many colors this came out on. I get bored trying to track down all the different colors and variations of records. I just get bored with it. But back to this, I would say in terms of my favorite tracks, I really like New London Boy. I think Neil Tennant's vocals are pretty sharp and direct on that. Neil Tennant's one of the greatest lyricists of all time for me personally. I think he's fantastic. Not always. Like he'll do his lovey-dovey songs and those are fine, but sometimes he'll have these really pointed, sarcastic, almost politically charged tracks. And New London Boy is one of those. In fact, New London Boy is one of the best Pet Shop Boys songs I've heard in a long time. It's not exactly high energy, but it's lyrically it's very pointed. You get what he's trying to say. I appreciate that. It's very rare to have lyrics that are even remotely political anymore. Remember when people wrote political lyrics, like bands other than Bob Dylan? It just doesn't happen anymore. People just don't want to touch politics, or they don't want to touch their own personal views if it flies in the face of something that's just generally universally accepted. But Neil Tennant's, I think he's one of those artists, and Pet Shop Boys are one of those bands that they've been around for so long and they have so much respect in the industry and they have such an intense fan base that they can kind of do whatever they want. And that's the glory of this band, I think. They've been around long enough, they've paid their dues, and they're still around making great records. And so Neil Tennant gets to write what he wants to write, and New London Boys got some great lyrics on it. Fantastic. Most of this album I really enjoy. I did have a bit of an issue with I think the album kind of sags here in the middle, especially this track here, The Secret to Happiness. That song, I don't know, one of their more mellow songs. It's one of those songs that doesn't really gel with the rest of the album. In fact, side one is really solid. I think side two sags just a little bit. It's still good, but we're going from really, really good here to just kind of good here on the B side. I felt like maybe there are some tracks on here that were B side worthy. In fact, I've heard some of the B sides on the digital singles, and I thought they were better than some of the tracks you find here. But it's the Pet Shop Boys. I give them a pass. They get to do whatever they want. They put out enough brilliance in their lives where they get to experiment and do things like that and put out tracks that might not work. That's part of their experimentation they've always delved into. They're a pop band, but they have a lot of experimentation to them, and that's why I love these guys. So, nonetheless, I'm going to keep this video relatively short, but I like this album a lot, as I do all Pet Shop Boys records. In fact, there's really only one Pet Shop Boys album that I've never really been able to love, and that would be Release. You remember Release? That came out in, what, 2000? 2001? This album isn't that mellow. I would define, this album's kind of a combination of Elysium and Super, if I had to compare it to any other Pet Shop Boys records. Really good stuff, not as good as Hotspot in my humble opinion, but hey, it's the Pet Shop Boys. Anytime these guys release a new album, it's time and reason to celebrate, and I would highly recommend you pick up this record. Not so much for the Milky Clear, although again, if that's your thing, go for it. Milky Clear, hey, if you love that, dive in. But otherwise, go pick this up. This is awesome. Pet Shop Boys are still around, man. They're still making records and they still sound good. Why would you not celebrate the moment anytime Pet Shop Boys put out a new album? It's always time to celebrate when that happens. And this is a good album. Pet Shop Boys, we love them. They're one of the, in fact, I've said this in my previous Pet Shop Boys video, but I would throw out there that the Pet Shop Boys are arguably, with the exception of the Beatles, the greatest pop band that has ever been on this planet Earth. It doesn't get any better than this. They have a massive catalog. It's all good. These guys don't really write bad. I shouldn't say that. They don't write uninteresting songs. They do have some songs that aren't so good, but they're always interesting. They are never boring. They are never being boring. How do you like that tie-in? All right, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.